All right, here we go. Thursday night, popping up randomly at 9:49. We were going to start at 9:30, but the VGK bugaboo hit the computer. Justin's here. Justin's actually not here, which is amazing because he's making another one of his crazy sacrifices on the road, which is nuts. Adam is following up, covering his Canadians. And Adam, are you on the beat for the Stanley Cup playoffs or a Stanley Cup final as well? Are you going to Tampa or New York?
I'm done now.
All right. Justin may take over and just cover the Stanley Cup from Long Island if they win. I don't know. You know what, Justin? You start out. I'm not a Knights fan, but man, I was watching the game tonight, and I don't know why. At the end of the game, I was like, "Fuck, that was a gut punch. That sucked. I cannot believe they're out. What just happened?"
This one wasn't that bad for me. I don't know why. I just expected them to lose. Ever since, nothing's changed in the last 3 games. And not about the way we play, although this was the best that we've played, actually, of the last 3 games for sure. But bottom line, you're not going to win a Stanley Cup if you can't make a power play goal. You're not going to win a Stanley Cup. Like, you can't go 4 for 43 in the playoffs on the power play and expect to get anywhere. I mean, this is the fourth of the 6 games that were decided by 1 goal. Power play goals matter. They had a power play goal tonight. They had a power play goal the night before. They had a power play goal the night before that. We don't have any power play goals. And so I don't know. I wasn't surprised, and I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just wasn't surprised. I was happy that it got to overtime. I thought that we had a real shot there with the last 5 minutes. I thought we had the ice tilted in our way the last 5 minutes. They were buzzing. They seemed like they had a little blood in the water, but ultimately they couldn't convert. And that's you know what I mean? That's the becoming the trademark of these Vegas teams is they don't finish on their scoring chances.
I feel like I could be wrong, and as you said, Steve, we're not fans, so I think it's different. When you're analyzing from the outside and you're looking at a different perspective, I would imagine for fans, it would probably suck a lot more if they actually played well. But I think if you're a fan, you look and you're like, we sucked. Like you can't. It's not like this happened or they got screwed here or this or that.
Justin, is that my internet or Adam's?
Yeah, that's Adam's.
Come on, Adam, with your goddamn internet. Oh, I feel like he's making a good point right now.
Yeah.
And he's just in the max headroom mode.
Saying, hey, that's on.
Just keeps talking and it's going
That's
slow.
on our team. That's on the Knights. That's on Vegas for not coming through and taking advantage of what they could have taken advantage of.
All right, I think I know what the point he's making. I'll speak as the fan. I'll speak as the fan here and say,
Adam, you were all jacked up.
Yeah, you're all jacked up. We can't hear shit you're saying.
That's perfect.
I'll say this. I agree with what I think Adam's point is, which is it would be worse if we had played well and lost this game and stuck away from us. Montreal, call it a bad matchup. I don't know that they're a better team than us, but they are better in this matchup than us, for sure. They match up great against the Golden Knights. And maybe Colorado would have kicked their ass. I don't know. Maybe Tampa will kick their ass. But Vegas Montreal's the better team in that matchup. I don't think it was fluke.
Their ass.
I think we could do this series again, and I don't think the Golden Knights would win again.
Am I still all over the place?
No, you're good.
Right now, you're good.
I don't understand how I can hear everything you guys say perfectly. It's weird.
We got you now, though.
You seem to be clean right now.
Justin interpreted exactly what I was trying to say. So I think if you're a fan, you walk away like if you're play out of your minds and you run into a team that just plays out of their minds and you somehow lose, like I think that's different than you go into a series and you just suck. And I think for the most part, like there's some spots here and there where they play fine, but they kind of suck throughout the series. And I'm not saying I'm not calling this a prediction. As I said at the time, I was only doing it because that was my assignment. But you remember how mad people were that I was a downer after winning the last game of the season when I asked DeBoer if they can win in the playoffs with the power play as bad as it was? And people were like, why would you ask that? They're trying to celebrate a win. Like, okay. But again, that wasn't a prediction. That was a story I worked on going into the postseason. Like, your power play has not been good. And it's masking it's been masked by the fact that you've had a great record. You put up a bunch of points. But in the playoffs, if you don't take advantage of those opportunities, it's going to cost you. And that was a problem most of the season. There was some times here and there where they were okay. But for much of the season, it was a problem. And it was definitely a problem in the playoffs. And it was absolutely a problem in this series. It was, there was a mess. I think it was Riley Smith. I was on the Canadian side. I wasn't on the Golden Knights call, but I think I saw somebody tweeted Riley Smith said that's what cost them the series. And it's not a hard analysis. Very clearly, you have to take advantage. A goal here, a goal there. All these 1-goal games.
He said that he actually said that after Game 4. He said power play is costing us the series, and like I said, I mean, at this point, it is historically speaking the worst power play of any playoff team in NHL history to make it that far. 3 rounds in, it's the worst, and it's not. It's not even close.
What did they finish? Were they 0 for 17 in the series, and what were they, like 4 for 47 overall or something like that?
I think it was 4 for 43. I think they were over 13 or 0 for 14 in the series.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Terrible. By the way, do you want to go? Can I go like double hypothetical on you?
Ari with a good line. Their power play is like the Ben Simmons of hockey. God damn, Ari just piling on. Rip open the wound, Ari. Pour the salt in.
Well, and I'll say this before we do the double hypothetical. If Mark Stone's not hurt, then Mark Stone is not going to get it done either because he disappeared for 6 games last time too.
Yeah, that was already it. So I saw a lot of people speculating that they're going to come out after this game, and actually one media person did it, which is funny. That they're going to come out after the game and say Mark Stone was hurt, and that's what was wrong with him. I mean, he was awful. We saw the big mistake in Game 5 tonight. Did he play?
Right.
I mean, you're gonna have to tell me if he. I mean, I'll look at time on ice. He didn't do anything in the box score. So if they come out and say, "Hey, Mark Stone was hurt," that's what happened. He wasn't effective because he was hurt, and he gutted it out, but he made it through. If they were to say that, how badly hurt would he have to be for you to be like, he's just not playing? Like, why would you keep running him out there if he's so hurt that he can't? Listen, I'm going to try to grab the box score now. I don't think he did. I saw one takeaway that he had because I would just said I don't even know if he's playing right now, and he got a nice little takeaway. But other than that,
and then they got taken right away from him again. Right after that, though,
that's true.
I do have to say, I mean, it didn't even look like he was skating in this game in particular.
He's a bad skater anyway.
Well, no, I know that, but I mean, he could skate enough that on that overtime winner in Game 5 of Colorado, he's able, he can skate when he has to, but he was just sort of drifting and didn't have any jump to his skate. I mean, he doesn't have jump, but I don't know.
1 shot on goal, 1 hit, 0 blocks, 0 faceoffs. He went 0-1 on faceoffs. Played 17 minutes, no, nothing. 1 shot on goal, and that that's about what he did every game in the series.
I mean, if we're talking on the bright side of things, I'll say this. Oh, wait, what was your second hypothetical?
No, it was if he's hurt.
Yeah.
How badly hurt would he have to be to just be like he's not? We're not putting at what point do you damage the team by trying to play? I applaud players that try to go through it and try to stick it out when they are hurt, but at some point, don't you have to be like, all right, you're not helping us by being out there?
Oh, dude, the first line is a liability tonight. I mean, the Misfit line was great tonight.
Really good.
That's the best that they've played in this series. Maybe game one, but whatever. Third line was fine, held their own. Fourth line got in trouble a little bit, and the first line was it was like it's like the first line and the fourth line almost flipped spots. The first line just 8 minutes. That's all they did at best. So
and
I don't know.
They ran him out there. Like I said, still got 17 minutes. They kept running him out there.
Yeah. I'll say this on the bright side, though, man. Alex Pietrangelo is the best player on this team. He's so good. He was so good in this whole playoffs, and in particular this series. He was so freaking good. I thought Haig played a great game tonight. I thought he was. I thought he outplayed White Cloud, who I think has taken a step back a little bit in this playoffs.
White Cloud fell down.
Yeah, and Haig saved him. Yeah. Yep. And then I mean, on the flip side of that, I wonder what would have been had Shea played this postseason like he played last postseason, and Pietrangelo was playing. Might not even need any forwards, but Shea struggled this entire playoffs as well.
Even like I agree with you, and from Pietrangelo, sucks now or lost, but after game 2, I think it was after game 2, me and Mitch Moss talked about it, and we were looking at some of the future boards, and we bet Pietrangelo at 25-1 to win the Conn Smythe.
Mm-hmm.
And as it turned out, after game 4, he was the favorite. Mm-hmm. 2 games later, he was the favorite at like 3.5-1 or something like that. And the way, Fleury, I think, was the favorite from the Knights. And then with him, having his issues and coming out of the game, like all of a sudden Pietrangelo was going to be the guy. So I was definitely hoping that they would go ahead and win. But yeah, he was their best player. I don't think there's any debate, any question. He was awesome. But even as good as he was, dumb penalty. And they pay the price. They give up a goal on that power play. So even as good as he was, even he's making blunders that lead to goals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like that penalty wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't like a brain fart penalty, right? It was getting sort of tangled up in the moment. I mean, he was finishing off a check. He's getting the puck out. I mean, I feel like it wasn't throwing the puck over the boards and getting delay a game, or like we love to do, sure. 4 times in a row against Colorado. But I thought he was awesome. I'm a the other goal was from broken stick of Martinez, who I thought played awesome too, except for that one moment. And it's not even that he did anything wrong. His stick broke, right? And that that happens
with time and space too.
Yep. And I don't think he's going to be able. We're going to be able to keep him unless we do something with the goalies and have a bunch of room. I think he's, as a free agent, he's going to be more expensive than his current contract, which is $4 million a year. But I love him, man. I would love to get him back. For another 2-year deal, I think it'd be awesome.
By the way, I'm just thinking back through my mind, and I was focusing obviously on the other side because that's what I was writing about, but. I think it was Stone that was on the ice too early too for the 2 minute on the ice penalty.
It was Stone.
So not only was he struggling, but he just couldn't wait to get out there and struggle.
Okay,
that's
pretty good.
Okay, he said no. I didn't like Stone. He doesn't have to talk every game, right? I mean, he's the captain, so that's kind of how it works out. Like they pretty much put you out there every game. You don't have to do it, but he pretty much does talk after every game. But I don't like that he didn't after game 5. Like, you're going to talk after every game and then have happen what happened to you in game 5 and be like, yeah, I'm not talking today. I mean, I get it. Like, I'm sure there'd be times I would be like, fuck this. I don't want to talk to those idiots today. But, when you, are such the focus, and I think he knew he was going to be the focus after game 5, to be like, yeah, not today. I don't like that, and I didn't like that, kind of response from him.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I thought, I guess the reason why tonight didn't stink so bad is because I thought they played like complete and utter shit. Like they didn't even show up in game 5. That I was like, all right, if that's the way they're going to try to play in game 5, I just don't have a lot of hope for tonight. Obviously I watched the game and I was cheering for them and I wanted to win, but game 5 was so painful in the arena as a fan that, they sort of took all the hope out of me in that game. And it wasn't just Stone. I mean, that's the worst game I've ever seen Riley Smith play. Was that game 5?
It was
he had a really rough game. Yeah, but
everybody.
Riley Smith in particular, had it really bad.
It was not a good end of the season for the Knights.
All right,
yeah,
so
I mean,
Brady was asking.
The Colorado series was cool. I have to say that was a cool series. That was like the best hockey I've ever watched in person.
Does McPhee go fucking crazy? Are we gonna have wholesale changes? Is the goalie first of all? Is the goalie thing done?
It should be.
Like, what do they have to? What do they have to tell Foley to explain to him? Like, you can't do this. It's got to be one or the other.
I mean, I think that's the big question. I think the organization, the front office, is pretty much ready to move on, except for him. And it's not, people. I said this to you earlier, like the national, and I wish I knew who it was so I could cite them, but the national guy that was like, it's obvious the board just hates Fleury. Like, no, it's not. Nobody hates him. Nobody thinks he sucks. Anything like that. It's a matter of, it's a cap world. It's a matter of, making a team fit together. It's all those other things. Last year they were going to have to give up picks to get somebody to take him. Coming off this season, is there a taker that will actually give you something for him? Maybe. And that does change it. But I don't know that Foley is going to allow that to happen. And so now you're kind of hamstrung by that. I saw, I think it was Wyshynski that was saying that, if they lose, I think during game 5, he was saying like, oh, if they lose this series, like it's blow it up and go get Jack Eichel and like, go get every guy you possibly can. It's possible to try to do that, but they are locked into a lot of contracts. And if they're going to keep both goalies, good luck. Like, there's not a whole lot of flexibility.
Yeah, no, I agree. They gotta do something. I like Fleury and everything, but I mean, I think Leonard is about having I think they're comparable goalies, but one's got a bigger window, right? If the idea is to open the window for as long as possible for us to compete for a cup for as long as possible, then it's Leonard. I mean, I don't think there's a reasonable debate to be had about that. Fleury doesn't have 5 more years. Fleury probably doesn't have 3 more years, and Leonard does have that amount of time left. So I agree. You gotta do something about that. And we have a freaking what appears to be an awesome goalie at the AHL level. Logan Thompson won every single award you can win in the AHL this year for goalies, and seems to be coming into his own. So I would. If we could have takers where we're not giving away first, second rounders for Fleury, then yeah, I think it's time.
Is DeBoer or McPhee in jeopardy?
Adam?
Oh,
he's got dog barking.
Something's going on.
Yeah, he's got the dog barking. All right, I'm going to say no. Certainly.
I
changes need to be happening for the power play. Like,
yeah,
come on, you can't act like it's a cold spell or what the fuck ever like that. It's the whole X's and O's of the power play has been dog shit for the entire year. They failed to make the adjustment there. I thought, I give credit to Pete DeBoer in the Colorado series. He out-coached Bednar. He did. He won that series on the X's and O's. We lost this series on the X's and O's. We did. We got out-coached, got outplayed, got out-hustled, got out-schemed. That's why I say you run this back and do 7 more games, we're losing. We just couldn't make adjustments, didn't adjust in game, didn't adjust after the game. The only adjustment I saw was we scrambled the lines one time when we were playing completely like garbage, and that made things worse, not better. So, I mean, I think for me, it all starts with the power play. We'd be talking about a different result if our power play was operating at a 20% clip, 25% clip, a normal clip. We would be talking about the Knights in the Stanley Cup final.
I was just reading some Mark Stone quotes. Sorry. He said, I got skunked this series. That can't happen. I'm the captain of this team, the leader of this team. I take a lot of responsibility for what just occurred. So, I mean, and he should. As we said, that was, it's not that surprising. It's not, it was obvious for a lot of people to see, but he was kind of shouldering the blame there. And yeah, I think, well, they do have, and don't forget, they still have, guys like Cody Glass around who, for whatever reason, was, not in favor, and a lot of young players at the AHL level, as you mentioned, that are they look like they're close to ready, but that's not what this franchise has been. It has not been, hey, let's get the younger guys in there and, let them, learn on the job. Like, this is a team that's trying to compete since day one.
What about this one? DeBoer is too arrogant to make adjustments to his scheme and strategy. All he ever does is change and mix up lines.
Like if during some of these games you find yourself on a San Jose Sharks message board, you'll hear them talk about like same old PDB. This is what he does. When something in the series is going wrong, he just sticks with it and says, no, we just got to keep playing doing what we're doing. And that Steve Spott's been his power play guy the whole time, and that their power play sucked and they didn't make a change. And now our power play sucks and there's not a change, and that, they're tied at the hip. So that's a fun little internet dive if you want to, hear the Sharks fans talk to the Knights fans about exactly what's happening. And they also say, they said this early on, and I was wondering who it was going to be. They said there's always one player who's in PDB's doghouse. Always. There's one that absolutely gets shit on, and it appears to be Glass. That's the one. Cody Glass, just getting shit on by PDB. I don't know what the true reasons behind it, but I'll tell you this: that kid knows how to play on the power play. Like, you can't tell me he wouldn't have provided some value, some change, something different, because the power play is just at the end, it's just laughable. It's just an absolute joke. It was a momentum killer. Didn't want it. Just let them have their extra skater. It was that bad.
How about this comment that Glass got shit on by Gallant too for Eakin? Sorry, yes.
Yeah, Glass was 19 at the time.
Right. Yeah. Definitely a different level of his development.
Yeah.
Is Pacioretty
and Gallant was starting Glass before Glass got hurt, and then Gallant got fired.
All right. Is Pacioretty getting any too much of a pass? Or is it all Stone related, or is it Stone related and Stevenson related before the last two games?
Yeah, he didn't have Chandler Stevenson, and then that was part of Stone too, I think. But if Chandler Stevenson is not there and Mark Stone's doing nothing, it is tough. Like, Pacioretty's game is kind of based on that a little bit of getting set up by those guys, and with one not there and one not doing anything, it really kills his game. He's not really. He can create a little, but it's more having other guys create for him and then him finishing, and it just wasn't happening ever.
Yeah, and I thought for the games that he was in, he was impactful. He was great in Game 7 against Minnesota. He put points on the board in the Colorado series, and he got blanked a little bit. He did at least score a goal. And 2 goals actually in this series, right? In game game 1 was not his goal, so just one. But also, we know what Patches is. Patches is not the creator; he's the finisher. So if there's no creators going on, then what the fuck is he supposed to do? He's not being paid $7 million to create for somebody else. He's being paid $7 million a year to put the puck in the net when it gets on his stick, right? And he did that, even though I argue in Game 5, even his goal was a fucking mess up. Like the team was so bad in Game 5 that even the goal they scored was accidental, not intentional. He fanned on it first and then put it in the corner.
Well, sorry, I'm dealing with deadline stories.
I mean, we do have to go back to Game 3. You can't just ignore what happened. Now, this is mentioning Pacioretty, but, I mean, back to the whole Fleury-Leonard conversation. You can't just ignore it.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean,
someone asked like a half an hour ago, if Fleury doesn't fuck it up, they win Game 3. Is the series different?
Of course, it's different, but you also have to go back and be like, well, they also stole Game 4.
That's where I'm at. It worked itself out. They absolutely stole Game 4. They played like shit the entire game, and they stole it.
It's 0 high danger chances in the game.
Yeah,
and Leonard stole the game for them. So, you could say, oh, they should have won Game 3, and if he didn't choke it away, then they would have. Sure, but then you also have to give them back Game 4. So you can't really go there. I think.
I think if we're going to point to a mistake, and I said it on the air before the game, I mean, after Game 4, I would have started Leonard the rest of the series. Should have started Game 5. Should have started Game 6.
Oh shit. Okay, sorry.
Got to go.
I might, yeah. You guys ever blown up a newspaper section right on deadline? You see what's happening in LA? Dodgers are being hit.
Yeah, no.
Oh boy.
That has to blow up a section in Las Vegas?
Sure. A no-hitter for the Dodgers? I mean, we're not going to change a whole lot, I guess, but we're going to have to rearrange a bunch of stuff. Especially because behind the scenes of the newspaper industry, usually sports is the last section. I'm sure people are very thrilled by this. Sports is the last section out. But tonight, huge news otherwise here in town. So news gets to be last tonight because of Resorts World opening right now.
Wow. Are you going to go over?
Not tonight.
I was thinking about it.
It's going to be a zoo.
Yeah.
Also, paid parking or no?
I don't know. Anyone know? Please be free parking. Come on, please. Mayor Vegas might be right. Vegas is a WNBA town first and foremost. Can I make a quick transition to a legal story? Even though right now it's not legal, but this is what we do. We just go right to the legal. Right? Because if we were in Miami on radio, they'd be like, hashtag too soon. Relax. My God. The collapse of that building, Justin, the condo. I mean, what happens down the road legally?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be lawsuits filed by everybody who was hurt, injured, and the family of the person who was killed. Still only one person killed, right? Or has that number changed?
99 missing.
Right. There's like 100 people unaccounted for.
Okay. Because I thought that it was crazy that it was only one when you saw that building. Yeah. Okay, but in any case, yeah, they're all gonna file a lawsuit.
Who do they file?
So you're gonna file against the building owner, and then you're gonna file against everybody, right? You're gonna file against the building owner. You're gonna file against the management company, and then so I am assuming that building is older than 10 years old. If it's older than 10 years old,
1981.
Yep. So you're not going to have any claims against any contractors unless there was renovations that were done within the last 10 years. Under the theory of construction defect, the statute of limitations on all that stuff, typically in most states is 10 years. I believe it's the same in Florida. And then, so you want to go to like, well, what about people who inspected the buildings and buildings inspectors? They don't have that's not how it works. They don't have an obligation to you. They have an obligation to give accurate reporting to their client, the building owner. And if they gave them inaccurate information, typically in their contract together, their liability is limited to the cost of the service. So let's say they paid them 50 grand to go through and inspect the building and give them kind of thumbs up, thumbs down on things and recommendations for repairs. They missed a bunch of stuff. So the building owner sues them. The max they can get back is 50,000. But the people who were hurt would not be able to sue that building inspector. That building inspector didn't have any duty owed to the people. It only had a duty to the owner. So your only targets for a lawsuit are going to be the building owner, like any sort of management company that's running the building for the building owner, outside of any sort of renovations or changes that have been made to the building. No, there is no negligence theory against city inspectors. They are actually immune from liability. I'm unaware of any state in which they're not immune from liability. They have immunity, which makes sense, right? Like, yeah. I mean, if the building inspectors were responsible for every little thing that they missed, that doesn't make sense. You get nobody takes a job, number one, and number two, the city would be getting sued left and right all day long. Like they're there to catch what they can catch.
What is there a level of ignorance on the part of the inspector that would get to that? Like, I mean, if they either lied about inspecting it, or if there was something like really bad and they got, whatever happened, they got paid off to just be like, it's all right.
Yeah, but then you're not suing the city, right? Like, I mean, it could vary on state to state, right? You can only sue state, city, county government employees in a state if the state allows you to, right? So, like the state has said that if you're involved in a car accident, like say Highway Patrol hits you, the state says, yes, you are allowed to sue. And you're allowed to get damage up to $100,000. That's what they've said. That's where they extend the immunity to. In building inspections, they're going to say immunity, but maybe there is a situation of gross negligence. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. I could see a statute or ordinance written in a way that would say that person is personally liable if they committed fraud and intent. But now you're going after an individual rather than the city. So you're going to have a hard time, finding an amount to collect if you're going after a building inspector.
Does it matter if, I don't know how this would matter. If, say, they weren't all, I guess you own it too. I was just thinking if somewhere, if they, like the residents own the building.
If the residents own the building, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And so it's commonly owned, right? Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Then, so if you have an insurance policy, you would file a claim against it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would be similar. It'd be basically like an HOA, right? Like the HOA owns the common areas, and each condo owner owns their individual condo. You can sue your HOA, which even though technically you're one of the HOA, right? You are a member of the HOA. You can sue your own HOA. Yes.
I always come up with random questions.
How about, is this covered in condo owners insurance?
So I don't know if these condos are rented or owned. So do we know that?
No.
Anyway, okay.
I think it's mixed.
Okay, so renter's insurance is, it's a policy out there that would cover these kinds of things, bodily injury, what have you, but it's just people rarely get it. Like I always ask people, do you have renter's insurance? The answer is always no. But if they own it, most people, because they don't own it outright and their insurance company, their bank, their lending institution requires them to have insurance covering their home or their condo, do have homeowners insurance in one amount or one way or another. And would you be able to make a claim against that? Yes. You would. So, yeah, not. I mean, I've run across a bunch of different homeowner policies. They haven't always been $1 million, but the question is, we have different categories here, right? We have the structure itself. That's the property damage aspect of it. Like, okay, my home was damaged. Typically, the lender is going to require that the insurance cover the full value of that plus some, so the rebuild costs. So you're going to be made whole on the fact that you no longer, your thing fell apart. But as far as the injuries, your homeowner's policy may or may not provide coverage for you if the owner, the condo owners, the HOA's policy is insufficient. It's policy to policy. You can have it. You may not.
Is this significant?
I'm sure it is, but I don't think that this is going to be significant in regards to any coverage for a personal injury claim. It's probably going to be significant in the getting the funds there immediately for the rebuild, and the cleanup and the extraction. But as far as making people whole financially for their property loss and for their bodily injuries, no. I mean, they're not gonna pay that.
Is there a mechanism? This is probably stupid too, but we have no idea what happened in this thing. So I'm not making any accusations here. I'm just asking a question of if we found out that whoever designed and built this was just a mess, they sucked and they don't know what they're doing. Is there any mechanism by which we'd be yeah, you can't build buildings anymore?
Well, we said this is built in 1981, right?
Sure. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying them necessarily.
Right.
When something like this happens, could we just be yeah, you can't do this again. You're done building buildings. Do something else.
Goes up to the licensing board, right? I mean, every contractor has to, when they apply for their license, has to disclose, any issues that they've had in the past, and they can look into those kinds of things and make those sort of decisions. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously there will be a forensic analysis here from structural engineers, and they will determine the cause, that I'm sure of. So we'll find out what ultimately it was. I don't know. It seems weird that a building would stand for 40 years and then just crumble, but I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself without hearing what they have to say about it.
Like Brady said, thanks, Reagan. All the standards got lowered. Thanks, Reagan.
Well, it was probably being built before.
I was gonna say it's Carter.
It's probably built by Carter.
Hi, fucking Carter.
This dumb peanut farm.
So Justin, I'm looking for real estate in the area you're in right now.
Yeah.
My God. What street are you? Do you know what street you're on? 124 Merchant Path has a 6-bedroom, 7-bath, 5,000 square feet, 3.6 mil.
The Dodgers did get no hit. It ended.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah. What street am I on? I think I'm on Hedges.
I don't see anything less than right now for sale 1.32 million. There's I'm a Zillow.
Wait. So hold on a second. So I'll say this: my in-laws don't own this house.
Really?
We're just renting. No, we're just renting.
Sagaponack. I think that's what we've off of Sag. Off of
Hold
Sag.
on, I'll send you.
What the fuck is this one?
Send you the address.
What street is this? We're gonna get the value of this house. For sale, this one. Let me look it up. 8-bedroom, 10-bath, 840 Sagaponack Main Street, 9,200 square feet. It's 24 million.
Okay, so we're in a house that's let's see, 1, 2, 3.
What is going on here?
We're in a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. If I had to guess, I'd say
Cool.
I would say 2,600 square feet, 2,800 square feet, something like that.
But you don't know the street. I can get the value here.
I sent you the address.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Text?
Yeah, I texted it to you.
Don't do it publicly.
Why? You get the price.
Steve loves this, but just so people know out there, if anybody's name ever pops up in the news, Steve immediately goes and looks at their property records. Immediately.
Why wouldn't you?
It's
that guy lived in a $250,000 house. Interesting.
I mean, from my perspective, I don't care. It's not not our property, right? It's just we're just renting a house for the week out on Long Island. I like to say
it's not their primary residence. You're saying it's like an Airbnb.
No.
Okay.
It not exactly. So, my sister-in-law is an attorney, and her attorney friends split this place for the summer.
Okay. Gotcha.
So they each have like 1 week here, and then a month later, another week, and then something like that. So like you got like 3 or 4 weeks out of the summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you gone to the pool yet?
No, you mean that? Oh, stop it. Did you pan left and see the tennis courts?
Jesus Christ.
I love that a month ago when we were talking about Adam and Justin's houses down in Sohai. Justin's like, it's not that much different. It's not that much different.
It's not. Well,
this isn't my place. These are connections. That's fine.
Justin's renting a resort.
Is that plane still there?
Yeah, the plane's right there. Yeah. I'm like right under the plane and to the left.
Oh, look at that kitchen.
Oh, it's a nice kitchen.
Oh man.
Oh, it's not that big. You're so funny. Did you find it like up for rent? That's where I'm sitting right now. You just saw the American flag. Turn back to the last picture.
It says it's not up for sale, but it must have been recently for rent or on the market. So there's pictures up. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are you in one of those high chairs? You're in a low chair right now. Okay.
No, I'm in a comfy little low chair. Yeah.
All right, nice. I like that Adam's all freaked out. I'm like, yeah, it's not hard to find. I mean,
well, I know, but I think the address was on the top, so people could just go find Justin now.
They're gonna stalk him on. By the way, my first clue was when you told me about the town. I looked up the town. I'm like, oh my god, like the further you go out on Long Island, like you're on like the friggin' tip. You are on Jaws, Montauk, and like all the way at the end. And the further you go out, the Hamptons.
What does that mean?
What? Oh, Montauk.
What does it mean? The further you go out, yeah. What does that mean?
I just think the further you go out, the more expensive the houses are, the more exclusive it is. There's not that many houses out there, so you're like near the tip of Long Island. So, and that is like when you're out there, that is like that you are nowhere near New York City, nowhere.
It's not that far, but yeah, okay, that's cool.
Good for you.
I do like coming out here. I do like coming out here during the summers a lot more than I like going to the city. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
And Southwest, we flew Southwest because they fly you right into Long Island Airport right out here. Islip, yeah, man.
Yeah. That's the only thing Adam and I know about Long Island. We're like Islip.
Oh, it's kick ass, man. It's
I was also looking at flights there today, so I knew there was a chance I was gonna have to go there.
Yeah. See, look. Stephen Lambert's doing his research on the FIU environment study on the South Condo, and it showed signs of sinking. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff up on the internet, man. It's crazy. All right. So, by the way, what were you going to do for Game 7? If there was a Game 7?
What was I going to do?
Yeah, you weren't back here in time?
Nope. I wasn't there for Game 7 against Minnesota. It's the only home game I've ever missed in the playoffs for the Golden Knights, and we won. So I thought it would be appropriate that I not be at the other Game 7 too. But I did not have high hopes that there was going to be a Game 7.
Doesn't sound like it. You're like they They played like ass in game 5. They had almost no shot. What are you guys doing while you're there? Are you going anywhere else? Like, I don't know. I actually don't know a lot about Long Island. Like, I'm looking north from where you are, and there's like all these areas that I've heard about: Sag Harbor, Shelter Island. Like this is
So
I feel like Justin. I feel
this is
like
like
Justin has a
unbelievable
really. I think Justin has a really like Richie Rich thing that he's doing because he's laughing already about this. Like he's playing. He's like playing in a polo tournament or something.
No. We're going for a bike ride up to Shelter Island and around Shelter Island with the kids and back. It's a 30-mile ride. Yeah, that's one of the things we're gonna do. We're gonna get on a boat and go fishing one of the days.
Oh, nice.
And then swim in the pool and play in the tennis courts.
Are you gonna play golf at South Fork Country Club?
No, I was supposed to play at Bethpage, but
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was supposed to because I have a buddy who lives out here in the city, and he's like, "Oh, hey man, I can get out there and we can get on Bethpage," and I'm like, "Hell yeah!" And then he told me like last week, "No, I can't make it happen." So no, I don't think I'll be golfing.
Hey, I'm out for a minute. Maybe a couple more.
Oh, you know what? You're near Shinnecock Hills too. You're pretty close, actually.
That's the road I live off of in Southern Highlands. Shinnecock Hills.
There you go.
Yeah, I will say this. Like, I'm kind of a downer on the city, especially during the summers. I love Christmas in the city, but we started coming out here with the in-laws 5 years ago, and it's super rad, man. My kids love it. We can take a long walk to get to the beach, but we can get to the beach. It's green, it's spacious, there's fireflies. My kids think it's the greatest. They love it.
Not to get super dark, but since you left, did you see there were 2 different like really nasty road rage incidents on Boulder Highway?
I heard about one.
Which one did you hear about?
Was it the kid that got shot, or was it an old man? I can't remember.
An old man got shot.
Old man
that was the second one. It was DI in Boulder, and simple incident of like a 75-year-old in a Jeep.
Yeah,
got cut off by a Suburban, honked at him. I can't remember who got out of the car first. I think Suburban guy got out of the car, went back to 75-year-old Jeep guy, threw a drink in the car. 75-year-old guy decides to get out and start going at it a little bit, arguing with the Suburban dude. Meanwhile, someone else is in the Suburban and just floors it and plows over and kills the 75-year-old. And Metro's like, don't get out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Now, meanwhile, a day and a half earlier, there was an incident, and I think I have this right. Van sees a car at a convenience store. Kids are in the back of the car. Dudes who own the car are inside at the convenience store. It's hot as balls. So I think when those guys come out, the people in the van are like, what are you doing? These kids are like in this hot car. The van leaves the parking lot. The car trails them. The car eventually pulls up next to them. Car has the kids, in the back. The car opens fire on the van, right? Eventually pulls in front of the van to cut it off and stop it. Van guy is like, all right, well, I got no other option. So he rams the car and kind of debilitates the car. Eventually they find the 2 guys who were driving the car who opened fire on the van and arrest them. But you're talking Boulder and Trop and Boulder and DI. Just like, man, people are getting crazy.
That's why I don't go down Boulder Highway, bro.
Oh, stop. It's not just Boulder Highway. That could happen it could happen down your way. It did happen down your way. You know what? I never even followed up on that. Whatever happened to wasn't there a van who pulled up on someone and opened fire on a car right in front of the South Point, and they were looking at all the different cameras around the area? That was probably about a year and a half ago. I'm not sure they ever caught the van that opened fire on the car. So,
yeah, that's why I always, I know you like to get aggressive with the driving, and you get angry at people, and you lay on the horn. That's not my thing, man. You never know what people are doing, man. I stay out of that. I express my anger in other facets of my life, but not on the road. People lose it. 9 times out of 10. I agree, Rourke.
I like the east side. I try to defend it. We're at Samstown. Samstown's a good area. Don't worry about it. You're all good. And then you see 2 incidents on Boulder High where people are running each other over or shooting each other. So, in the case of if the van incident where the van was like, hey, I have no other option except to ram this car, what would happen to the van driver if they had actually really hurt the kids?
I think any injury to the kids would have been the responsible the people driving the car. They're the ones who created this dangerous situation, and the van's right to defend themselves. Put the kids, yes, the kids were in danger, but that's because of the driver of the car. So I think they would have been fine.
All right. Can I throw one last legal story at you before we go?
Let's do it.
And I didn't send this to you ahead of time. It's really not a legal story. Did you see? So let's start at the beginning with. So Ron DeSantis signs through legislation about the critical race theory in middle schools and high schools. Mm-hmm. He followed it up this week with, I want to get the exact terminology.
The survey?
Yes, about the universities in the state. Mm-hmm. What do you make of that one?
I think it's unconstitutional. I think it's clearly unconstitutional. Because as state-run universities, they don't have the right to ask those questions in those ways. Other than what would the information be used to if it's not being used to discriminate based on what you think, what theories you hold true or whatnot. So, I mean, maybe they could do it anonymously, but I would be very surprised if that's not legally challenged and that it's not struck down as unconstitutional. It's an abuse of the power of government.
You think on both fronts, this is just performative on his part? He's just trying to garner support for his big run?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, at the latest convention, on their little straw poll, he outperformed Trump for 2024. So, yeah. I mean, I think it's reasonable to think that everything he's going to be doing from this point forward is to put himself in the position to be the front runner for the GOP in 2024.
Yeah. Just
like it's safe to assume that, the actions of, some Democrats,
of course,
is going to be calculated to do the same.
Dude, why did you ever just decide to serve 2 years? What's wrong with you?
Dude, I would be doing some sweet NIL legislation right now, man.
That is the one cause you missed out on. But
yeah,
otherwise, wouldn't you just be shaking your head like, I don't want to be part of this? What's going on?
The NIL?
No. What's beyond that? Like, that's an important thing. But beyond the performative stuff, it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, 100%.
So sad. All right, well, enjoy your trip. Adam's off to do his hockey stuff. Sorry about the delayed start. Everyone who came in, totally appreciate it. We're back tomorrow night with Dave Koken. I think Brady is absolutely recommending that Willie is in every Friday. As Brady was making some comments last night, so he knows what's going on with Willie and Dave. I think that's good stuff. Brady just says cheerful Koken. Renee, appreciate it. I think I have Renee's hat on. It's on backwards, so. Thanks, Renee. We appreciate it. Pickle Gamer. Thanks, Jay Lawrence. Yes, Justin for governor of Nevada. All right.
See you guys.
All right. Enjoy the good